Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. Today, we're going to go on a little adventure into a world that's all around us, but we can't even see it. Yep, we're talking about the world of tiny, living things, and we're going to make sure you are totally ready for your exams. So let's get started.
Chalo bachcho, let's kick things off with a curious question. Just imagine a single drop of rainwater, or maybe a little pinch of soil from your garden. Have you ever stopped to think about what's actually living in there, swimming around? You might be shocked to know it's a bustling city of tiny little creatures.
You know, for most of human history, this tiny universe was a total secret. Can you believe that? Nobody knew it was even there. But then, a couple of science superheroes came along, and they had the key to unlock this hidden microverse for the very first time.
And here are our heroes. First, way back in 1665, we had Robert Hooke. He was looking at a super thin slice of cork from a tree. Then, a little later, came Antoine van Leeuwenhoek. This guy built his own microscopes and, get this, he was the first person ever to see tiny little things wiggling around in a drop of pond water. How cool is that? They were the original microbe hunters.
So this is what Hooke saw. On the left, that's his microscope. Pretty simple looking, right? But with it, he drew what you see on the right. He saw all these tiny, empty, box-like shapes in the cork. You know what they reminded him of? The small rooms or cells that monks lived in. And so, he called them cells. And guess what? The name stuck.
So, okay, this cell that Hooke found, what's the big deal? Why is it so important? Well, let's find out how this one tiny, tiny structure builds literally everything living around us, from a tiny ant to a giant banyan tree, and yep, even you.
It's really simple, Beta. A cell is the basic brick of all life. Just think about it. How do you build a big building? You use bricks, right? One brick, then another, and another. They make a wall. Walls make a room, and rooms make a whole building. Cells are just like that. They are the bricks of life.
Wow, just look at this comparison. It makes it so clear, doesn't it? On the left, you see a brick wall, and on the right, those are cells from an onion peel under a microscope. I mean, don't they look exactly like a neat little wall of bricks? It's so obvious why we call them the building blocks of life.
Okay, bachcho, pens down for a second, eyes here. This is a very, very important exam topic. The difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. It's easy. Just remember three things. 1. Plants have a strong outer cell wall for support. Animals don't. 2. Plants have green chloroplasts to make their own food. Animals don't. And 3. Plants have one big storage tank called a vacuole. That's it. 3 simple points.
And what's really great is that you can literally see the difference here. Look at the plant cell on the left. It has that fixed, kind of boxy shape, right? That's because of the strong cell wall. But the animal cell on the right is more round and flexible. The picture just makes it click in your brain.
Okay, so we've got these tiny cell bricks. But how do you get from a single brick to something as complicated as a person or a huge tree? Well, it's not random. There's a beautiful system, a beautiful order to it. Let's check it out.
It's like building a team. First, you have the individual players, the cells. Now, cells that do the same job team up to form a tissue. Then different tissues work together to form an organ, like your stomach. Those organs then form an even bigger team, called an organ system, like your whole digestive system. And when all the systems work together, bam, you get a whole complete organism. See? It's a step-by-step process.
Now get this, some living things are made of just one single cell. Can you imagine? Their entire body, their whole life, is just one cell. We call these little guys microorganisms, or microbes. So let's meet some of the famous characters from this invisible world.
First up, meet Amoeba, the ultimate shapeshifter. This little guy has no fixed shape at all. It can just stretch its body any way it wants to move around and grab food. It really is like a tiny living blob of jelly.
And look at this one. It's called Paramecium. What does it look like to you? Doesn't it look exactly like a slipper? A chapa? And you see all those tiny hairs on it? It uses them like little oars to paddle through the water. So cool. Oh, I am 100% sure you've seen this at home. You know when you leave a piece of bread or a roti out for too long and it gets that fuzzy green-black stuff on it? Yuck. Well, that is bread mold. It's a type of fungus.
And of course, we have to talk about bacteria. They're the most common microbes of them all. They come in all sorts of shapes. Rods, little balls, spirals, and they're literally everywhere.
in the soil, in the air, in water, and yep, even millions of them inside our own bodies right now.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. When you hear bacteria or microbes, you think germs, sickness, but arewa, that is only half the story. The truth is, many of these tiny little microbes are actually our best friends. They help us out every single day.
I mean, just look at all the jobs they do. They're like nature's cleanup crew, breaking down all the dead stuff and keeping our planet clean. They make our soil super fertile so farmers can grow our food. And they're little chefs. They work in our kitchens to help us make delicious things.
You know how your mom makes that yummy Dahi at home? It's not magic, bacha. It's because of a helpful bacterium called Lactobacillus. When she adds a spoonful of old curd to warm milk, these bacteria start multiplying like crazy, and they turn all of that milk into fresh, thick Dahi. It's amazing.
And what about those super soft idlis or fluffy bhaturas and bread? The secret ingredient is another microbe called yeast. When you add it to dough, it starts to release a gas, and those little gas bubbles get trapped in the dough, making it rise up and become incredibly soft and fluffy.
Okay, let's get serious for a moment. Exam time is just around the corner, so let's do a super quick final revision. I want to make sure you lock in these concepts so you can walk into that exam hall and score full marks. Ready?
Let's see what you remember, my champions. I'm going to show you a little table that is a very, very common exam question. So let's master it together, right here, right now.
Bachon, listen very carefully. Please put a star next to this table in your mind. This is the perfect answer for a 3 or 5 mark question. Look at the key differences. Cell wall, yes for plants and bacteria, NO for animals. A proper well-defined nucleus, yes for plants and animals, but NO for bacteria. And chloroplasts for making food, only in plants. Got it? Remember these points and you are set.
And there you have it. Remember, Beta, science isn't about memorizing things. It's about understanding the amazing story of our world. From Robert Hooke's little boxes to the bacteria that makes our Dahi, you now know an important part of that story. You're prepared, you're smart, and you've got this. Now go and ace that exam. All the very best.